Out here once again, I am Uncorrupt. Got another live stream ready to rock and roll here. So today, I'm working on the push from Diamond 5 to Legend, which is probably the least favorite part of the climb for, I would say, the majority of the players, especially when you're on a 10x bonus or less. Just one star at a time, it ends up being really, really grindy. So I always try to keep several important things in mind when I'm going from Diamond 5 to Legend. Thing number one is, bad stuff is going to happen. We have to understand that. You might lose 3 games, 5 games, 6, 7, 8 games in a row. You just have to keep hitting the play button down here. You just have to keep jamming play. It's really going to be the only way that we're ever going to be able to get there. That's just the way it is. So we're going to keep pressing play. And then I also like to have an aggro deck. I really like quick games when I'm trying to climb, which is exactly why we're playing Treant Druid. And it just so happens that this is one of the better decks in the game right now, so that's going to be a big help as well. So we're just going to hop right in here and get this grind going. Also important to have your favorite drink of choice. For me, that's going to be a bottle of water, a coffee.
Lunara versus Illidan.
This ends now.
A new song
Demon Hunter
begins.
right off the bat. Soul of the Forest should actually be really good in this matchup. I don't think it's good enough to keep though, but we are going to want to draw into it. If the Demon Hunter's able to get their Naga spell chain going, Soul of the Forest could potentially really help us. I think this is the one with the most upside. Dirty Rat would be interesting to try to pull the Naga out of their hand, but the deck is running a lot of minions, a lot of Naga, so probably a pretty small chance that we would actually be able to hit it. But even just consider going wide here with 1/1s. I mean, it blossoms next turn, but we go wide and then we have a buff next turn. So I'm gonna go for it. Realistically, expecting at least one of these minions to die. But we'll see what happens. Okay, so are they gonna use the coin? Interesting. They actually almost get a board clear here out of that, which is unfortunate. But we're just going to keep on jamming. Potentially expecting a somewhat weak turn here from them. I didn't know people were still playing Relic Demon Hunter. So both of those are now gone, which is good. And I'm just going to work on going wide here. And I'm going to go ahead and get down this guy so that we get a copy of the next spell that comes into our hand. Cards. So at this point, I think we are just going for the buff here and push some damage face. We're, I guess, potentially on a little bit of a clock with the at 6 mana, the deal 1 damage and heal. I can't remember the name of the card. It's been a while since I played against this deck, but we know that's a thing. So we've got a lethal setup here. We can actually activate this for a buff. Our board, most of the minions have 4 health, so that should be really good into our opponent's turn 5. They do have a lot of cards in hand, though.
It is our time to step out of the shadows.
But I think we're in a good spot. This can also go face as we activate the Herald of Nature, so I think we're probably okay here. I-beam and losing minion is bad, but ultimately we are still winning this game.
Destroy you, flourish. It's only
It's always nice to get started off with a win. We'll take it. I feel like that's likely a good matchup for the deck. Just because it felt like our opponent drew pretty well and still, you know, wasn't really able to fight off the board all that much.
Lunara versus the Lich King.
All will serve me in death.
Good in the matchup. I'd rather have a stronger turn 2 than to get this in play on turn 1.
My pain.
Okay, so we see right off the bat that it is Plague DK. So we are perfectly fine with that. We're going to get our treants down. We just need to keep in mind that they do have the Tomb Trader. They could potentially clear our board here, so we're going to need to be just a little bit careful. And I am going to take this trade. Five fives could be really good in the matchup. I don't know if Plague Death Knight still runs the Hollow Hounds. I think Hollow Hounds are like an ancient tech for the deck. We're actually going into their Tomb Trader turn, so I want to be just a little bit careful about the way that I go about this turn. So I'm going to hold back just a little bit. We do put 4 minions in play, so if they get cleared, Plot of Sin is going to be activated. Important to note there, but I decided to float a mana rather than play this or this, just because I don't want to lose that much extra stuff to a Tomb Trader. So I feel like this matchup, this situation, we're perfectly fine being able to play around some AoE. It feels like they're going to be dropping the Tomb Trader. If they do, then we're just going to go wide with 5/5s and 2/2s. Reload the board and see if they have anything they can do to answer. Well, they don't have to use the Tomb Trader because, of course, good old Hearthstone is all about creating cards. So we're definitely going to get the 5/5s in play. And I'm just going to remove the 2/2 to try to make it harder to remove the 5/5s. Rather than playing more of these, they could still have a Tomb Trader in hand. And bumping into this and playing Tomb Trader, we would actually lose a 5/5. And then we've got the 5/5s in the middle in case they play Hollow Hound. I have no idea if they do or not, but, you know, even if it's not a card that's in, like, the meta deck, sometimes you'll run into these psychos that are going to play it anyway as, like, a tech card. And we can afford to play around it, so we're going to play around it. Okay. So if we didn't actually take the trade, then, well, I guess that we still would have had a 5/1. A little bit unfortunate here. I'm going to take the buff, even though we don't have a way to activate it. And still just worried that our opponent is going to have the board clear as well. in the form of a Tomb Trader. I want a hero power to remove that. And at this point, I feel like we just kind of have to play into it. Like, if they have it, they have it. If we let the game continue to go on, it's just going to be more likely that they draw it. If they have it here, it clears the board. We have one card in hand. It's likely just to concede. So I think now's the time. This is like poker. We're going all in. Expecting the board to get cleared here, though. There's the Tomb Trader, so I'm just going to concede out of the game. I think that the play was still perfectly fine. Holding back isn't going to really win us this game. And what we actually lost to was we got Hearthstoned with the good old created... the good old created Blood Boil. So no, try not to worry about that too much. The absolute worst part of Hearthstone for me, man, is just the created. Like, people creating... Like, what better card could a Death Knight, a Plague Death Knight create than Blood Boil against Treant Druid?
Beware the turning tides.
Opening hand looks pretty good here. Against Warlock, again, just making the assumption our opponent's probably playing the Sludge Barrel Warlock. So that means we need to pressure their health total very aggressively, very early on. We just have to kill them. And so this is a matchup where, likely again, I'm just going to... We can't necessarily beat their removal, so we just have to play as if it doesn't exist. That means we're going to just be jamming boards and going face. Question here is, do we want 2/2s or do we want to get something in play? I think I want to get something in play. And this is the only thing that has upside to it. We'll take that. Next turn could even just play this, if we still have a minion on board. Could consider coining out the Soilizer.
I raise, you fold.
That's a good pickup. We need a wide board to be able to take advantage of it, though. We can coin out the Soilizer. I think I actually like it. Go ahead and use the coin and get a punch into the face here, so they'll be able to make a trade. On turn 3, we're actually going to be able to almost clear our entire board here. So, unfortunately, this card, when they have it in the early game, is really good against what we're trying to do. So... Unfortunately, we've lost our entire board here. We're starting over. It's their turn 4, and they've got an easy trade, so... This is not looking good for us at this point. The longer the game goes, the more likely it is that the Warlock is going to be able to win, and we have failed in our goal of being able to put early pressure on our opponent's life total. Bit of a weak turn for them to tap and pass, but not super weak. Next turn, likely looking to get down a Soul of the Forest. This is really unfortunate. I think that was off the top, too. It's another good reason why I haven't reinstalled Deck Tracker after taking a break in Hearthstone, is because I don't really want to know if that came off the top. I kind of think that it did. Whenever this takes damage. I have to actually hit this thing twice.
Let's see.
Just draw cards. I mean, I hit, do this. Only going to be 2 minions for this guy, so I think I need to remove that, though. See if we can get a silence. I guess Death Rattle is going to be good here.
This can't be
And
good.
again, unfortunately,
This
I'm having to play in a way that I really don't want to play. I think it's correct to do this in this situation, but this is not really going to win us the game here. So definitely expecting a loss just based on the way that this game has been going. Opponent has a full hand.
The overture is upon us!
Okay.
feels good. That feels good.
So, I mean, the 5/5s are good, but we're going to end up losing our board. Herald of Nature for the buff. I guess we take the aquatic form to thin our deck. We go again. And I think I'd rather have the Herald of Nature in this particular situation. It's not going to be active. Oh, it is active. I didn't realize that was a nature spell. Okay.
The strong flourish.
And then we're just going to go face. Yeah, I didn't know that that was a nature spell, so that was really good. If this wasn't active, I was going to throw down the Soul of the Forest there. But, pleasant little surprise. I still don't think we're winning this game.
Fall to waste.
But that was not a bad turn. Actually, they have to remove another minion or they just die here. We have... Got absolutely sniped. Imagine if it hits this.
What if?
Alright, I'm gonna hero power first just so that we guaranteed get the discounts. And we're just going face here.
Obey the sea.
Man, the sludge barrel sniper is crazy. Alright, well, that's gonna be the end of this game.
I can't win them all.
It's a really unfortunate game. I feel like that matchup has to be Druid favored. But they had just a little bit too much early game for the boards that we were developing. Having the trolley problem early is so good. It has to be a keep in the mulligan from the Warlock side in that matchup.
Lunara versus Garrosh.
Victory or death!
A new song begins.
Hopefully we draw something to do, and we don't so far.
Ah, I see.
We're playing against a Renathal Griefer. Come on, man. Hearthstone is out to get me. Alright, well that's a good top deck, so... maybe Hearthstone's not out to get me.
Do you have this in a bigger size?
I'm just gonna do this. Remove the minion. We get a little bit of board presence. Turn 3, we can go this.
Relax. Let's warm you up.
Trial by fire would not be particularly good for us. And we're definitely going face here. So next turn I might even use the coin to be able to get out 2 treants and the buff.
Do you have this in a
The
bigger
only
size?
potential problem with that play is we're going into like turn 5, but it's a 40 card deck, and Brawl is basically always going to be a thing, so I think I'm just going to choose to not play around the Brawl here.
What if?
It's also still an issue against like a Blade Storm as well, but again, I'm just not going to play around
That
it.
is not going to
It's going to go in and go face here. Actually, maybe this isn't that bad in the Blade Storm. Well, they can hit here. Maybe this is okay. There's the Trial by Fire that we really didn't want to see. So again, maybe Hearthstone actually is out to get me, because we have... Our opponent's playing a 40 card deck. And they've been able to totally answer our board every time. Like, how come they're not drawing their bad cards? They're only drawing their good cards. I'm gonna do this, just like one less body on the board is good. And I'm actually gonna make the trade here as well. So we'll make a play like this. After these have blossomed, I'll be going for the Soul of the Forest to try to get us a resilient board, and then hopefully we're able to get a some type of a buff to be able to finish the game. Look at the bottom of the deck. So one more turn on the Blossom. So I think we're gonna play the Soilizer. So we really, our turn is not super great here, no matter what we do. Maybe it's actually better to just take the draw. And I'm not going to play this because they're going to be 2/2s, and I want to be able to combo a wide board with the Soul of the Forest. I'm just going to do this. They'll be able to make an easy trade with this. But we're going to be able to get a nice wide board to hit with the Soul of the Forest. And then we also have one cultivation in hand. So we need to develop a board, and then layer that board with a Death Rattle, and then hopefully the board underneath we'll be able to find lethal with through buffs. Our opponent actually has their second copy of Trial by Fire. In a 40 card deck, by the way. You know what? That's enough that's frustrating enough that I think I have to concede, or I'm just gonna like tilt all the way out of my chair and straight into the floor. Renathal, again, for me was just another really bad addition to Hearthstone. It magnifies the luck factor when it comes to drawing cards. It's like the developers just keep pushing the game in a direction where luck is more and more of a factor. Like, I'm actually starting to think that people who think they're good at Hearthstone are just delusional. They don't realize that they're high rolling.
My heart is one with the eternal forest.
So, we move on. It's actually an interesting choice here. This is just good for the damage. I think I'm going to take the damage versus copy in this will. Hey Cax, nice to see you. greetings to you as well from across the pond. I hope you're actually English. Get in there, volatile skeleton. I think I remember telling me one time that you were from England, but I definitely remember you talking about being like a Warriors fan and a Steph Curry fan, so hopefully I'm not making myself look like a fool. Oh, that's tough, man. Let's see, assuming that's a bellowing flame. Is this still good? Maybe he only leaves one minion up.
What if...
I'm gonna just solo the forest on these two guys. I am a Warriors fan indeed. I haven't been keeping up with the last week or two, man. How are the Warriors playing?
Let me hear you make some noise!
I'm gonna have to remove this. So I'm doing that. And I think I'd like a soilizer if I could have one. Actually can't have one? I'm gonna grab the seedlings, and then we're going to get another death rattle in play. So if they're able to remove the board, we're still gonna have treants on the board. Summoning treants makes the cultivation cheaper, and then we have an active buff in hand that we can also play with a lingering zombie. Playing the Nuggets tonight. Oh, baby. The Nuggets are still really good, right? So you're enjoying Treant doing a lot. Can't blame you. I too have been playing this deck since early December. I just want to draw, like, cultivation.
We all exist in harmony.
Hopefully we get at least one. Nice. Yeah, I've always kind of enjoyed aggro decks. I like playing fast decks for fast games, and the fact that it's one of the better decks in the game is, you know, just kind of like icing on the cake. So our board actually just dies to the whirlwind thingy. Okay, they didn't have it, so that's good. Actually, is this lethal? Let's see, 10, 15, yeah, this is just lethal.
It's only natural.
I appreciate your efforts.
Hopefully they don't nerf it, but if they do, hopefully they don't kill it. Yeah. I don't know, man. They probably don't have a window to be able to make changes, right? As far as another patch before the mini set. Did they ever... I can't remember if there's like a balance patch that goes along with the mini set or not. But I know they... I guess because like the Hearthstone client is so old and the game is so old,
Show me your strength.
they're not really able to change cards on the fly. They have like pre-planned dates
Of nature.
to be able to make changes, which is unfortunate in 2024. Essentially a mirror match here, and we're going first, so that's good. I just want to get on the board with a board presence. And it looks like it's actually Dragon Druid, so that's interesting. I feel like we're still probably favored in the matchup, though. So, unfortunately, they were able to ramp, but I don't think it's like a super big deal. Do we trade the 1/1 to protect the 2/2? I kind of think we do. Gotta protect the 2/2 here. Also, it works towards infusing. The 5/5s have to be huge. I feel like I played a game exactly like this yesterday. Same matchup. Same, like, they ramped and then they drew buff dragons and whatnot, but if we can go wide, it should be an issue. And then hopefully we hit some kind of a buff. That is a lot of taunt, though. Naval mines feel pretty good. We'll do that. And I guess we're actually just going to have to trade here, unfortunately. And I'm going to float the mana. It gives us the infused for next turn.
We all exist in harmony.
Okay, so we definitely want 5/5s. And then I'm just going to go ahead and get this bomb in play. Next turn, I should be able to draw into some type of a buff, like a cultivation. So at some point, this is going to be 4 damage face, even if I have to trade it into a minion. I actually just have 8 damage sitting on the board waiting to go face. Nice wide board, this is feeling pretty good.
This desecration of the Titan's land stops here.
Alright, well that's a really good card. There's a buff. So, it only buffs 1 attack, so I'm gonna have to make some trades first, unfortunately. This dies no matter what, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do this, and then I just need to activate my guy over here. I think I like more damage.
The strong flourish.
Down the buff.
Natural.
Hero power, so we can go like here, here. And then I guess we can just like soften up another minion and then pass it back to our opponent. Opponent has a full hand, that's likely a bad sign. Trade into aquatic form. I like the way this is shaping up.
Time is running out. This desecration.
Oh man, again! Why do they have every copy, man?
I'll miss you.
It's like the 3rd time in 5 games that that's happened. I just don't understand. My opponents are drawing really well tonight. And into a bad matchup, man. This is feeling like one of those days that Hearthstone just ain't it.
My heart is one with the eternal forest.
Let's strong card for 7 mana. It is. There's nothing wrong with strong cards. Yeah, the first one was played for 6 mana. Every matchup, though, it feels like my opponent is drawing exactly the relevant cards in their deck that they need. And Paladin's just a really bad matchup. I think I've beaten exactly 1 Paladin with this deck. And I'm pretty sure our opponent is drawing exactly what they want to be drawing with these things as well.
A red sunrise.
That one's not happening. I've faced a single Paladin that doesn't have Boogie down on 2 or 3 mana. I think it's likely a keep, so I mean, I imagine people are looking for it anyway. I'm not sure if Boogie Down is a holy spell, but with that thing that draws a holy spell, you know, they can like semi-tutor it, plus they're looking for it, so I mean, it makes sense that they would have it.
You asked for it. The forest fights back.
I didn't really want natural causes, so I put the other one back.
Want to hear my playlist?
Oh, it's Mech Mage. That's interesting. A little bit less interesting is the fact that we just don't have a play. I don't want to leave this on the board, though. Might have to actually Aquatic Form to try to find something to do on turn 2. Which isn't good, but if we can get past, if we can like find something playable for turn 2, then things should be shaping up to be significantly better. Might actually just be the zombie since we have the buff. Gonna take the zombie here. We'll float him out. I'm glad I removed that mech just to try to keep the resources in hand thin. Also prevents him from maybe discovering another Mecha Shark. Just gonna do it again. We float a mana, this would have been a little bit more board presence, but just gonna try to keep their side of the board clear. I don't mind this from them at all. I mean, they're doing the same thing, fighting very heavily for the board. That's a good top deck for us to be able to get something in play. Hopefully they're not able to put together like a lot of bursts to be able to kill us, because we did just take 10 damage from playing these guys. He actually removed a minion with that. It's tough. The buff is just good here, right? If I can go boom. Boom. Yeah, the buff is going to be just good here to remove the Mecha Shark. And Infected Peasant is going to be good as well.
Can't be good.
So it's this, buff, and then we trade for the Mecha Shark. So unless they have like second Mecha Shark and a way to give it poisonous,
Unity, precision,
we're kind of okay here. And Ziliax is strong, but it's going to get removed. We're just gonna keep our board. We'll do this. That and the other. I guess the, it's not a Titan, the Colossal. If they had the Mage Colossal, they could potentially clear our board here. So hopefully we hit like a Soul of the Forest for the Death Rattles. Second Mecha Shark, not that big a deal. It should be able to go off at least twice. I'm assuming they can discover 2 mana or less. But it didn't really do a whole lot. Living Roots. 4, 7, 9, 11, 15, 16, 18. So we're gonna have to make some trades.
This will be good. Run for help!
I want to save my Death Rattle. I think, like, with Ziliax gone, I'm not sure that I'm, like, super concerned about this Magnetize. The problem here is if they actually have, like, the Gaia or whatever it's called, it's going to be really bad for us, but I'm going to go face. If they have it, I think we just lose the game. So again, it's a game of... Alright, that's going to be the beginning of our win streak. Had a tough few games to get started. I feel like Diamond 5 to Legend, with no star bonus, has to be like the worst, or people's least favorite place to try to rank up.
Get back to work.
I defend the blessings of nature.
Against the Death Knight. I almost want to keep Soul of the Forest in this matchup. I'm going to try keeping it. 1 second, we have an extra card in hand. But you really need this Death Rattle, because whether it's Plague or Blood, feels like it should be good, hopefully. Turn 2, we'll lay down these guys. Turn 3, and then turn 4, we're probably going to be looking to get down the Soul of the Forest. Alright. Essentially, they just hero power again. We get down this guy, and then on turn 4, be able to play the 1-drop as well as Soul of the Forest, which will be just in time for... I actually like that they spend a corpse here, for corpse explosion purposes. I don't like the discovered removal, though. Corpse explosion gonna hurt a lot. Yeah, it is, if they get enough corpses.
I prefer post-pop goblin.
But I mean, again, it's one of those things I just can't play around it. I'm just gonna have to play into it and hope they don't have it. They just made their spells cheaper, which I kinda don't like. Two corpses is actually pretty good. I'm just gonna go in. Is it better to kill this? No, right? I guess Blood Boil is still really good for him here, too. They always do, in my experience. Yeah, I feel you on that one. We'll be alright. They don't have it. I mean, it's a 40-card deck. Surely they don't have it. 2 corpses, so we're still going to have a lot of stuff. The problem is if they have like back-to-back removals. Like something now into maybe Hollow Hound on 6. They haven't drawn very many cards though.
The more you struggle, the better.
Alright. Top deck a buff so we can just end the game. Oh, baby. Surely it's lethal, right?
You ain't seen the last of me.
I think it's lethal. The mighty top deck, yeah, that's right. Now it's our turn to be good at Hearthstone.
Malfurion versus Arthas.
I really just don't like the matchup, man. It feels
Protect the wild.
very, very bad from this side. I think I want minions on the board rather than minions in hand. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. This is actually the hand and this is the bush. And they passed turn 1. I know that's a little bit hard to understand, but this is the hand and this is the bush. Bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. And there's the boogie down on turn 2. Somebody warned me about this. So I really have no choice but to make trades here. Which is unfortunate. But maybe also fine at the same time. Then next turn, I think I can just go ahead and get down a Soul of the Forest.
Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get down the Soul of the Forest here. And I think we ignore the board and go face.
The battle is over.
Oh, baby. That feels like an early concede from the Paladin. I don't think they have to concede there at all. That's like a frustration thing, which is probably what I've done a couple of times myself already in this particular play session. But I really think if you're the Paladin, you play it out, because as soon as they draw into like Prismatic Beam and whatever that other thing is, the 3/3s with Rush, I mean, they have ways to be able to fight for the board against this deck. And without another buff in hand, it's not necessarily lethal. Go back. And so here's the interesting thing. Supposedly, like, all 3 of these would be a keep with the deck. But we can't just do nothing on turn 1. And I don't want to play this on turn 1. Maybe I have to play this on turn 1. Alright, we're going to trust our deck. We're going to draw into something. And we did. And it's actually a nature spell to activate this.
Ah, I see you've brought guests.
40 card Priest. Have to keep in mind, though, of course, that Priest does have Silence and like AoEs to be able to clear the board here. But I'm just going to go in. This is another matchup where I think it's like, if they have it kind of deal. So we're going to force them to have it. We're going to force them to have a Silence just within the first couple of cards of their deck. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw the buff down as well. We're going to keep going face. 9, 11. 16, 17. So we potentially have lethal if they don't do something. They need a silence or they need to remove some minions. And they're doing neither. So we've got a top deck and a dredge. Find our damage. That's not it. That is. So if I counted right, this is lethal. Almost clicked on my own minion, but in the end, we found our way home. Yeah, that was quick, and that's exactly why I say, you know, when you're trying to go from Diamond 5 to Legend, pick an aggro deck, like the highest win rate aggro deck that you can find, and just jam games as quickly as you can. Because we started off, so I started off, I think, at Diamond 5 1 star. I lost like 2 or 3 games, won 1, and then I think I lost another 2 or 3 games, and now I've won like, what, 3 or 4 games in a row, I guess? And this is all in 50 minutes. So, I mean, losing is obviously a part of Hearthstone. Our win rate's probably, you know, best win rates in the world over long sample sizes of games are like 56%. So,
The light shall bring victory.
The forest.
trying to go from rank 5 to legend with no bonus stars. Play, baby, play. Only 30 card priest this time, and it's not Shadow Priest. So yesterday I actually lost to like Naga Priest, which is one of those decks that if people are playing it and it's still good, it's a deck that's just been around too long. That archetype has been around for a really long time. But I guess a lot of the Naga stuff is going to rotate. Probably the Automaton variant. Yeah, I have no idea. This is the classic priest play, roping turn 1. But hey, maybe they went to go make a cup of coffee. I can respect that. I can respect it. Is 2 1/1s just better? It is, right?
Let's see.
1/1 mech that gets bigger for each other automaton that you played. Yeah, I actually do remember that. That was a thing. Before I left. Yeah, I think the 2 1/1s is just better here. Get some minions on the board so that we have the potential to be able to trade. We can potentially punch face. And then now we'll do this. I guess Dredge. Get a look at the bottom of our deck. It's probably better than anything else. Like, getting something from our deck is going to be better than getting something from a card that they're not even playing on purpose. So I'm going to do that.
What do I take?
And I think I'm actually going to coin this out.
Let's see. What do I take?
And we'll just take the aquatic form. It's going to give us another dredge when we need it, so it's going to help us to be able to thin our deck out a little bit. Alright, so they Holy Nova here, which is an interesting choice. I'm going to go ahead and dredge. And I'm going to take the Living Roots. I mean, they just used 1 Holy Nova. It's possible they have another one, but it's extremely unlikely. So I'm not going to play around the second one this early. And if they do have it, we do have a couple of 5/5s that are going to come into play, which would be nice. They actually do have the second one, so again, I'm not really upset with my decision to not play around it, just because it's unlikely that they have both copies in the first 7 cards of their deck. Now we have 5/5s in play. We're going to be drawing additional cards next turn. And this does look like some kind of shenanigans. Our opponent is actually just drawing like all of their removal, it seems, in the early going. That should be fun. One buff in hand, then our deck a little bit. We have more card draw, so I think things are going okay. Problem is going to be if they have a big pop-off turn, and they have like that Kyrian thing. Could be Naga. Yeah, it's kind of what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid they're going to have a pop-off turn that we just can't beat. And I'm just going to play the 1/1s here. I'm going to save the damaging spell in case I need to put this 2 damage somewhere other than face. Like, they have to have something here now, or we're going to be winning the game. Extra Ziliax. So I think the Ziliax actually saves them here, which is unfortunate. That's a nature spell. So I can do this. I can do this, and I can cultivate.
It's only natural.
Unfortunately, I have to do it like this. So again, it's going to come down to, do they have what they need? I don't know if they run Whirlpool. Maybe Silence is enough if they can also remove some stuff. I don't know. Game's still maybe not totally over. They do have a lot of cards in hand. They've drawn about half their deck, so we'll have to see what they do here.
Unity, precision, perfection.
That's not going to be enough. It's not enough, right?
We are the tide.
No. According to my calculations, it wasn't good enough. So now we're rolling. It took us some time to gain a little bit of traction on the on the stream tonight. We started off really bad, so, but now we're feeling pretty good. We're beginning to steamroll. Yeah, interesting priest deck. Do nothing. Remove opponent's minions. Go AFK. So they started AFK, then they removed a few minions, then they went AFK again, and lost the game. Priest is an absolutely awful class, man. They should redesign that class again. I mean, Priest has been redesigned at least twice, right? Like, most recently, they got those overheal cards, which have mostly been a flop. But, like, remove everything should never be an archetype. The only thing that I've ever personally found interesting in, the only thing I've ever actually found interesting in Priest, I think I want to save this for the 2/2s, is Shadow Priest. I like Shadow Priest, but again, you know, I like aggro decks. They come down with the Soilizer. And they're actually trading for our Lingering Zombies, which is an interesting choice. Alright, so we're going to take the 2/2s, and I think we play this as removal. Is it removal or is it 1/1s? Also, we run into a problem that we don't have anything to do next turn. Undead Priest is nice, but it's rotating. Most of the undead package came from Lich King. Yeah, that is unfortunate. Hopefully they replace it with something else. So they haven't actually played a nature spell. I think bodies on the board is actually just better. I'm still going to trade though. We need to maintain control of the board here. Again, we're at the mercy of our deck though to draw something playable next turn. And then we're maybe okay after that, but these are kind of gumming up our hands. I don't think you ever want to have both of these at the same time. I was hoping they would have to pass and not have anything else. That's actually a pretty good turn for them. That's a good enough top deck. It's just going to be the Witchwood. This is going to allow us to get a couple of 2/2s and hero power. Oh, we actually can't hero power. I'm bad at math. It was still the treants, though. They're making our cultivation cheaper, and we're going to be guaranteed to draw both cultivations. Just unfortunate that they had a buff.
We all exist in harmony.
And we actually draw both life from death. I think we just lost the game. Our opponent's turn was just good enough that they've been able to take initiative, and it feels like we're just not getting it back. This is not going to be infused for a while. Yeah, it's over. Look at this. 3 infused cards in hand and not enough minions to be able to infuse them.
I'll miss you.
It's unfortunate. I feel like going first has to be massively favored in that matchup, but you make one false move and have a soft turn, and your opponent just pounces all over it. So I think the mirror match comes down to who goes first, and then it's very much based on drawing.
I must protect the Fire Lord.
Show me your strength.
Alright, so we're going first again against another druid. If it's a dragon druid, hopefully they don't have exactly both copies of that 7 mana flood the board dragon. I want the 1/1s in play, bodies on the board. Hopefully they don't have a lingering zombie here. If they do, they're just going to trade for these over the course of a couple of turns. Their own living roots and a blood treant. Okay. Second blood treant. Okay. That's pretty good. So this will bloom for turn 4, and we'll have that. So we're gonna do this, and then again, we just have to trade for the board here, but our opponent's turn 1 was better than ours, so they've basically got the initiative now, especially if they have like a natural causes. If they have to trade, it's not super bad. Top deck, second treant. And is that a soilizer? Herald of Nature. So now it's bad. We're like way behind. That does help though. Our opponent's low on cards. That might help us. We're still going to have a decent turn, but they're just going to double trade. They'll have 2 minions on the board. But they do have 2/2s, and we have 5/5s, or we can do that. This ends up being more bodies on the board. These are bigger. Plus the 2/2s. We just make the strongest play that we can. They need another buff. Soul of the Forest, possibly just game-winning for them here. Oh, especially if they hit the big board. Yeah, they hit the big board with it too, man. Pretty sure we just lost the game. Yeah, and this is not... not looking super great here. We are going to be able to draw cards, though. Just have to hope our opponents... maybe they run out of gas. That's really good for them. And they're holding something oh. I thought they were holding something expensive, but they actually were just winning the game. So perfect example of the mirror match being really draw dependent. Like, they just drew significantly better than us. They drew 3 buffs, we only drew 1. It's also mildly frustrating when your opponent plays every card in their hand and it's like exactly what they need. Especially when they don't draw any extra cards. You lose. You lose. And then we immediately go into a bad matchup with a bad hand. Double cultivation. I wish I would have had these last game. Hearthstone is trolling me. It happens so often, like cards that you needed last game, you don't draw. And then you end up with them this game. I'm gonna hold on to the coin. It's not looking good. I might actually just have to play one of these for 2/2s.
One knows solves every problem.
Bottom of the deck. The Soilizer is good here. It's a 3/3. His natural cause is better. It causes us to float a mana. I think it's the Soilizer. Especially considering we have both cultivations in hand. Potentially on turn 5 I can get 4 5/5s in play. It may not be enough though. Ring Zombie. Infuse 3. Yeah, that's... it's not good. I mean, I can't just not play it, though. Like, I have to get it in. At least it makes these cheaper. Potentially they have a weak turn here. I can get, I could get 5 5s and 1 buff. That might be enough, but I've got to be careful. I got to make sure that the board is... I was afraid of that card. It could have been worse, though. So we'll take our 5 5s. And we don't even have to use the coin for the buff here, which is nice. But they are going to get a somewhat decent trade, maybe. If they have the second one, we're just, like, mega sad. Second copy of Keeper of Strength is not going to be good here. They have the Deputize Aura. Man, that card is really strong, too. You hate to see that every time it comes down. Look how good it is. Fortunately, the second buff is going to help us quite a bit. I actually have a 3rd buff. I'm going to want to make sure that I kill this first. So I will use the coin here. I'm going to hero power this. And then I will coin out this. That's only 23, so I have to take a trade into this guy. And then now we just have like nothing. Probably a 0 chance that we're able to kill our opponent next turn.
Cease your quarrel at once. Well met.
This on turn 7. And they have the second, yeah.
I yield.
So we're back into the phase where Hearthstone is actually hating us. Like, these games just don't feel winnable from the standpoint of the cards that are being drawn. But that's what happens when you're going from Diamond 5 to Legend. We just got to keep hitting that play button. But that is tough. We'll be alright though. It's time to steamroll somebody. This mage has volunteered for it too. So this is one thing that I'm still not sure about. I really don't think you're keeping Blood Treant on turn 1. And especially when you're going first. Because you run into the problem of running out of cards, I feel like. And again, we draw Cultivation early that we don't really want. I mean, you'd rather this be like any other card in your deck at this point. This is a pretty straightforward turn. We get this off the board, prevent armor from being gained. We didn't really have anything else to do anyway. It also puts a tree in play. They play this card on purpose. Must be some kind of weird aggro deck. I'll let my opponent make the trade. I wonder if this is that, they play like the 7/4 that shoots random damage or whatever.
The calm before the storm.
Like it's actual elemental mage.
Please don't burst my
Which I think is a pretty weak deck. Exactly 1, so hit here. We're gonna soil out. Get this guy down. So we actually have an active buff next turn. Yeah, that's the card I was thinking of. It's 7 random damage. That ended up pretty good for him. I mean, I can take a trade. Take a trade. Go wide with this. Buff with Cultivation and then trade here, and it just ends the game. Because I don't think this deck has AoE.
Let's see.
Not totally sure what's in the deck or how they've built it. But I don't think they have, like, true board clear potential in the deck. It's only 1 attack, though.
Let's see.
So I have to double trade. But it's still fine, like with a buff in hand as well. So since I'm going to double trade, I want to trade with this first. Then summon the saplings.
Time goes short. The strong flourish.
And then buff with this. Save the cultivation for next turn.
My powers are never truly.
Okay, so they just lose. You lose. Surely it's lethal, right? I don't think we really have to count here. I don't think our opponent counted either. It might have been an early concede from our opponent. They didn't actually count how much damage we had on the board. Alright, I'm going to step away for a brief moment while we're in queue, but I will be back for the mulligan. See you in just a minute.
I defend the blessings of nature.
I've never come anywhere close to actually getting a cup of coffee made. The mulligan's just not long enough, man. I found a match too fast. This is a good hand, though. Warlock, again, the only Warlock that we're seeing is the Sludge Barrel, so I just need to hit the board and punch face. What it's all about. Can't be targeted actually seems pretty good here. So we'll take that. And I think I actually just jammed the second one. At one time, this card was absolutely insane in aggro decks. Like, you played it and it would get 9 damage. Especially, like, you could coin it out on turn 1. You would just get to hit with it so much. I guess those days are over. Alright, I'm just going in. If they have, like, the this is pretty good against any AoE that they would have at this particular turn. And then next turn we're going to be able to land a Soul of the Forest on a pretty decent board here. So we might actually be okay. Alright. Slow turn for them. We're going to be able to get this down, which is good.
A small price.
They don't really like that all that much, but we're maybe okay here. I think it might actually be better to play this and wait one more turn on Soul of the Forest. The only thing is, am I going to want to Flower Child next turn? And I kind of think I am. So I am going to Soul of the Forest. Next turn is going to be a Flower Child. I think it would just be a little bit too greedy to try to wait an additional turn for the Soul of the Forest. Try to force our opponent to be able to remove lots of stuff.
I do say, I seem to have lost the surface.
Finley, I think, is really good for him here. Hopefully they don't have enough mana to do anything super impactful this turn, but it likely sets him up for a really good turn next turn. I have 9. So I don't think there's anything I can do that's really going to allow me to win next turn. But we're guaranteed to draw at least one cultivation. We draw both cultivations.
We are the tide.
And they're 4 mana, and we have death rattles on these guys. So maybe this is enough to get there. But we're kind of at the point where if we can't win with this board, it's probably just going to be game over. I think this means we win. This isn't going to be a super impactful turn for our opponent. They don't even remove a single minion, they're just dead on board. I mean, even if something dies, summoning just one additional treant would allow us to be able to double buff. Which would be nice. Alright. We're gonna try this coffee thing again while we're in queue. I'll be back.
Malfurion versus Anduin.
The light shall bring victory.
I must protect the wild.
Hearthstone is such a hater. Why do you hate coffee? Hearthstone, anti-fun, anti-coffee. Anti-everything. I'm gonna set up for a stronger turn 2 here, I think. Alright, now we're ready. We'll get our 2 treants down, and then hopefully we top deck something that is going to be playable alongside Cactus Construct. That activates this, and we just roll on from there. They just traded a silence. And it's actually not playable, but we'll get to play the 2-drop that goes along with this. And it's going to be a gold counter. We're just going to draw. We're going to draw cards here. I mean, if our opponent has another silence, they maybe play it to try to shut down our card draw. They have an AoE, they play it to shut down our card draw. If we end up burning a couple of cards from these guys being on the board, I think we just don't care. And it's a question between these two guys. I mean, I have a second buff. This is better against removal. This is better against the silence. I'm gonna just go ahead and get down the Soul of the Forest here. Oh baby, what does this thing have, like a random chance to draw a card and turn it golden? If it does, that's hilarious. Alright, so we'll take that. I mean, that ends up being perfectly fine for us. So we have... Actually, do we have lethal? With the cultivation? 6, 7, 8, 9, 19, 24. Second cultivation ends it. We don't draw it. I swear, man, this game... It doesn't cost 8 mana, it costs 2 mana, but it doesn't go to my hand. I make that mistake a lot because this just makes absolutely no sense. Alright, so what's the play here? They probably end up removing minions again. So I just get down to 5/5s, and then I'm going to cultivate because we're drawing another cultivation next to it. That's a really frustrating interaction. The card does not cost 8 mana. It's been discounted to 2 mana. But the discount doesn't actually happen until it comes out of your deck and into your hand. And nowhere in the client is that interaction explained. At least we win the game. Makes me feel a little bit better, but I still think it's a... It's stupid, stupid. I'm about to start slamming my desk, man. But then I'd be sloshing my coffee all over the place.
My heart is one with the eternal forest.
Versus mage? Still don't think you keep it.
Reality.
Okay.
Woven.
Just gonna set up for the 2/2s. Hopefully our opponent... I mean, if it's elemental mage... But I'm just gonna keep going with what we're doing.
Reality.
So they gain 4, and they're starting to get random stuff. So I guess that means it's like Romath Mage, maybe? I don't know. Maybe there's several mage decks that play Infinitas. So this is potentially going to be... I gotta get my mind right. This is potentially going to be a very frustrating game of Hearthstone, because our opponent can now create random... lots and lots of random stuff. So the good news is, we've got a pretty powerful play here. We're going to be able to remove all of their ways of generating armor. And this is probably the... Yep, cold case. As expected, so... I mean, that's a good turn for him. Look at the bottom. Not making this mistake again. This is the only one that comes into our hand right now. And then we're going to Aquatic Form again. And Soul of the Forest is absolutely the pick here. And we're just going to get Soul of the Forest down on as many minions as we can. And we're just going face. I mean, our opponent has to make trades, so we're going to make them make the trades. As long as they didn't create like a silence or something from Infinitize. It does create cards from other classes, right? It's not like mage-only cards. Pretty sure that's the case. It's another cold case. Now, if they have Deathborn, and it's like they have it next turn, that ends up being really, really bad for us. How bad is it? Like, they hit here, they hit here. Deathborn ends up being, like, insane for them. I think I still play this.
Now how about... We all exist in harmony.
Oh, this is playable? Is that lethal? Well, this makes Deathborn significantly worse for him, so I think we're just doing it anyway and going face, even though it's not lethal. We have lethal next turn as long as they can't gain armor, and their armor gain is gone. So even if they have a Deathborn here, this play is... I think this play just wins the game against Toaster Strudel. Did they really name their BattleNet account Toaster Strudel? I wonder what flavor. I've never actually eaten a Toaster Strudel. What's the good one? Like blueberry? Blueberry anything is good, right? Even if they can somehow totally clear this board, we still just kill them with a hero power and this thing. Unless they have like another cold case. Something really weird has to happen for us to lose at this point. And not even that, something really weird has to happen to not have lethal next turn. Okay. Easy! Alright, so we're back actually climbing again. That feels good.
Lunara versus.
And again, like the cultivation, you just don't want the cultivation in your hand. I think I like this better than this. We'll just hold on to the Lingering Zombie. Play both of these guys 2, this guy 3. We're going to start playing Treants in order to really discount our cultivation. And this is actually worth a lot of Treants. 2 to be exact, but I consider 2 to be a lot of Treants, don't you? Looks like it's Plague DK. So we're going to have to keep in mind the... we're going to have to keep in mind the Tomb Trader, which they can actually coin out next turn. So I think I want to go ahead and get the buff active, because that's going to help us with the Tomb Trader. And I guess the freeze / silence has more upside than anything else. Do I want to freeze their face? I think I'm actually just going to play this and freeze face here. Oh, the freeze is the... I thought the silence was... Oh, it's an enemy minion. Okay. I thought it was just freeze. I thought I could target face. I didn't read the card. And they do have the Tomb Trader in hand, which is unfortunate, but probably expected in this matchup. So we're going to do this and Lingering Zombie. And then next turn, top decking a 1 would be insane, but it's likely just going to be these guys. And the cultivation just continues to get cheaper, so... Dude, face, this, and this are good for us. 25% we have a bad outcome. Bad outcome. Guaranteed, dude. It's actually crazy. There's so many good outcomes for us.
The strong flourish is only natural.
I'm just gonna push the damage face. They have Hollow Hounds, we're potentially in trouble, but it's not something we can play around. We just have to go in. Maybe the 5/5s can help get us there. That looks like a second Tomb Trader.
We only need one.
Yeah. Man, you can't beat these high rollers. It's so insane. Like, it has to be a favored matchup, but so many of the games that we've lost, it's been because our opponents have drawn 2 copies of some type of removal. Like double Tomb Trader, double Hellfire, Mirror Match, double buff. It's the only way we're losing.
Malfurion versus Malfurion.
Cenarius, guide me to victory. I must protect the wild.
Alright, we're actually going second against Druid, so that's bad. But we're going to have a contest to find out who can actually draw cards better. Is it me, or is it Mighty Beast? I don't think I want to do that. This at least has some kind of upside.
Me not shady.
Hey, Tyler. Nice to see you again as well. I hope you're doing well this evening. Oh, I think I just want to go really wide here. Take the trade. 1/1s. More 1/1s. Next turn we've got the buff. And hopefully we top deck like another 1-drop, although there's not very many 1-drops left in our deck at this point. And our opponent...
The strong flourish is only natural.
We're going to start pushing damage base here. The other sad thing is that I haven't been able to discount cultivation at all yet this game. So I tried out your deck, guess how I did. I'm going to say you did really well, but I will say also it's not my deck. I 100% net deck this deck, but I'm guessing you did really well, Tyler. How'd you do, man? That's tough. Let's go ahead and get our Shadow spell here. Mortal Coil. That's pretty good. So I want to activate this. I'm going to buff. I'm going to hit once. And I'm going to coin out this Mortal Coil. And the rest of the damage is just going face here. Next turn, I'm going to put as many treants on the board as I can and try to set up for a cultivation the following turn. Hopefully they don't have that 7-mana dragon that makes a really big board. Currently, it's 17 wins in a row. The man. Golly, man, look at this. Every card in their hand is a dragon. Every single card in their hand is a dragon. I've never seen such a well-played, high-skill game of Hearthstone in my entire life. Now, not only is every card in their hand a dragon, but the only reason they were able to play it that turn is because they drew both copies of that dragon that ramps their mana. So again, we lose to both copies in like the first 6 cards drawn. And 17 wins in a row is insane, though.
Versus Scabs.
17 in a row is like, that's like an all-time streak.
Death is nature's way.
Slightly altered version with Drum Circle and the Choose One cards. Yeah. I'm assuming you already know, Tyler, but if you're running Drum Circle and the Choose One card, you probably want to cut the Living Roots as well. Right. This hand is not good. I need to top deck something. That's one thing I think that people should always do is, oh my gosh, this is awful. We're an aggro deck with no turn 2 play, and barely a turn 1 play. I feel like people should always experiment and change cards and do different things. So many people just net deck, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I think there's a lot to be gained from changing the deck around in a lot of cases. 4 Choose One cards in the deck. The Discover and the Drum Circle. Nice. What an awkward turn. We float a mana again. I feel like I have to do this, though. Remove this guy. It does put a Treants in play. We float a mana, but it activates our buff. Other options just jam this. And maybe take a trade. But then this guy's not active, so I think this is probably just better overall. I really hate the idea of floating mana, but I think it's right. Their created card is a Plague Strike, so again, it's just a perfectly created card for the situation that they're in. Like, it's a randomly generated card from another class. Could be, like, basically any card in the game, almost. No neutrals and no rogue cards, but... And they hit a Plague Strike?
No gems. Escape from really again.
But this is just a really, really frustrating... trash game of Hearthstone, man. It's impossible to have fun in a game of Hearthstone like that.
Lunara versus Malfurion.
The developers must love it, though. They sit around playing Hearthstone at the office and they're just giggling as they're playing Rogue and generating random cards. As they rig Hearthstone games against the common man. Sitting in their ivory tower. Am I playing this? I almost think I'm playing this. I kind of want to save the damage. Again, I don't like floating a mana, but I want bodies on the board. Especially since we have like 2 buffs in hand. Hero power trade. Perfectly fine. Just made it to plat. Congratulations, man. Keep on going. Keep that grind up, man. All you have to do is keep pushing the play button, Tyler. I guarantee you, if you're pushing the play button, your rank just continues to go up. That's all it is. Golly, man. Imagine there was something playable alongside natural causes here. How good it would be. I still probably just do Soul of the Forest. And trade.
Now how about...
I mean, on turn 5, I'll have this to combo with the Soul of the Forest. What if I do this? And then Natural Causes. And then I can Hero Power and trade with the Lingering Zombie that comes back anyway. And then this gives me a really nice wide board. Well, I guess I can't combo him because it's 6 mana and not 5. This gives me a nice wide board. High chance I top deck something to be able to combo with the Soul of the Forest.
Are you ready to...
Yeah, this worked out pretty well. Even have the option of just Cultivation here. That's unfortunate. 6, 7, 8, 18, so it's not lethal.
Obey the sea.
Yeah, with this deck, my old one, not so much. You gotta play good decks, man. That's the unfortunate truth. So, I mean, it kind of depends on what your goal is. You know, if you set a goal of, okay, I want to rank up, then you're going to have to play a good deck, which is likely going to be, you know, some kind of a net deck. I guess I just buff and knock a bunch of this armor off, right? But, you know, I've encountered quite a few people that their goal is just to have fun playing Hearthstone, and they really like a deck that has a 40% win rate, and they really enjoy it, so they just play it and have fun. So it's all depends on what your goals are.
I concede.
Ooh, double coin concede, the new meta. I like it. Will you ever do viewer one-on-ones? Yeah, probably at some point. Be something fun to do. I gotta be honest with you, man. Right now, I don't really have enough viewers.
Lunara versus
It would almost be like private testing.
Endless torment.
The forest fights back.
That's my Lorthamar Black Rock and Roll deck. I like the hand, man. I'm keeping it. Yeah, that's one of those decks that I guess if you hit the Black Rock and Roll, be control. Slow but funny, yeah. So our Lingering Zombie kind of gets farmed here. It's unfortunate, 40 card deck, they only play 2 body baggers for 1-drops, but they have it in the opening hand. And this on turn 2. I don't like what's happening here. Elemental that draws spells and discounts fire spells makes it more consistent. So you're playing the only... Does that mean the only fire spell that you're playing is the Black Rock and Roll? Ooh, that's really interesting. To go along with this next turn? Or actually, we're doing it this turn, right? Just spend mana? They're only on 4 mana. We had the coin. So we're going as wide as we can. Next turn we get down this. Following turn buff whatever's left. But you're running 2 copies of the fire draw thing, and then Black Rock is the only fire spell. I can see that definitely helping the deck be more consistent. But the thing is, I think even with that, it's still not consistent enough, right? Oh, it's just too slow. Yeah. Now the interesting thing is, I haven't really looked at like what cards are going to rotate when the rotation happens. But typically the meta is... Let's see. That'll definitely be infused at some point. The problem here is going to be like Corpse Explosion, potentially. Because they're going to have a lot of corpses, so it just depends on whether or not they have the Corpse Explosion. Absolutely wrecked by another Created By card. Am I seeing this correctly? Created By. He's just, every game, man, it's decided by he's created by. And now if they have like a Blood Boil or a, or another thing. Actually, let's see. If we hit double cultivation, we win. So we have to win a 50-50, and then we have to win a 1 out of 3. And it wins.
What if...
I go this and this, and Corpse Explosion, I think, is the only thing. It basically puts them on having to have Corpse Explosion if we do it like this. And then again, all damage goes face. Blood Boil ends up not being good enough. And a high chance that we hit at least 1 cultivation with this. Meta feels fast. Yeah, it is fast. Like with this deck in the meta, sometimes you can win games. That's right. That's not going to be good enough. Unless we draw really poorly off of this, I don't think it's good enough. Even with the other trades. A cheeky way to still abuse the spells in Warrior School Teacher was... Yeah, that's right. Now, School Teacher definitely rotates. That was in Voyage to the Sunken City. And that's going to rotate. I do know that. But typically, when rotation time comes, the power level of the meta goes down. Because they're removing 3 sets of cards and they're only introducing 1 new set. So there's like less archetypes that are viable, power level goes down. A lot of the current really strong stuff has cards that rotate. Death Knight should actually look like a totally different class with the rotation, because I think almost all of their stuff rotates. I don't know what they're going to do with Path of Arthas. Maybe Path of Arthas is just like the core set for Death Knight.
I like my battles the way I like my
But the game should be happy that BS Murloc that reshuffles your whole hand. Yeah. We're keeping these guys. Yeah, not really happy with cultivation in hand, but at least we have some trees that we're going to be able to summon to make it cheaper. Again, it's going to be a rogue that's trying to create a random card that's going to win him the game. Does Treant Druid get hit by the rotation? I'm actually not sure. I mean, these cards I think are from this year, but I would have to actually look into it. The good news is, like with all the different... See, we don't have beasts. Dredge is probably the best, I guess.
Let's see, what do I take?
As we get closer to the rotation and Blizzard announces details, between like all the Hearthstone websites and all the Hearthstone content creators, you'll have a really good idea of what's going to rotate. But as of right now, nobody really knows. They could make changes to the core set. Last year there weren't very many changes, but they did change a little bit. Now, if you really just wanted to go through it, now you could to see if these cards were going to rotate. You can just go to your collection manager and then figure out which expansion these cards were introduced in. I think I have to coin here. So you could figure that out if you wanted to. I don't think anybody's really started working on it this early, though. Hey Andy, it's been a while. How are the games going? The games, man, well, I gotta be honest with you, man. This particular game, maybe not so good. So here's how it is, Andy. The games that I'm losing to created by cards, which is like one of the main reasons why I took such a long break from Hearthstone. Guess we set up the dredge and the tree and...
Let's see, what do I take?
Just bodies on the board for the buff for next turn. But other than that, I guess it's alright. I've been enjoying Hearthstone again, I guess, Andy. Good to see you, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Let's see... You do add some risk, but still mega strong early, yep. Yeah, it's the created by, man, it just totally destroys my mental outlook on the game. And it just continues to get pushed. Like, I don't have a problem with discover and created by, but you shouldn't be able to discover wins is the position that I have. Like lackeys, I thought were perfectly fine, you know. You can discover something good, you can discover, you know, something to do, but you're not going to win the game with just lackeys. But, you know, I mean, who knows what this is doing, and they're creating like a ridiculous amount of stuff. That's potentially game ending. Like, look at this. I mean... He just removed 2 minions on the board. Going into a turn that I was wanting to buff anyway. Well, I guess he really only removed one minion, but again, I mean, it's just created by that's having a pretty significant impact, I think. I'm actually going to take the trade first, and then buff. Make sure we do it in the right order here.
It's only natural.
But I mean, they just... more random stuff in hand. The good news is, I mean, we got 5/5s, we do have buffs. Deal 3 damage to all enemies created by. I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking about. And they're gonna, like, make this trade. I don't know why they wouldn't trade for the higher health one. And then, I mean, now look at this. My top deck is absolutely awful. Because I can't play it this turn.
This will be good.
18. I'm gonna try to protect the 5/5s here. One of the classes I'm having trouble with are Demon Hunter and Rogue. Oh, and the classic turn 6 Crab here as well. He's actually tanking 5, which is interesting. But it just ends up being fine because our hand is so bad. Like, look at this. This draws the 2 life from deaths. So we have... our draw is so bad that we would struggle to win the game anyway. Meanwhile, our opponent just creates whatever cards they need to be able to win.
I can't win them all.
Like, it's just not enjoyable. It does more than just reduce the skill level in an individual game when they allow created cards to be so impactful. It reduces, like, the skill of deck building, of, like, tech cards, and all that stuff, man. It really throws, like, the entire ecosystem out of whack when they allow stuff like that.
Yuan versus Malfurion.
Turn 7 fixes that with both effects from Drum Circle. Yeah, that's still pretty strong as long as you can get to it. Been playing Hand Buff Hunter with always a better Jormungandr and both Cleave Beast. That's pretty fun. Nice. Yeah, I haven't... I just started playing Hearthstone again, like... I don't even think it's been 2 weeks. So, I've done some net decking. And I came across this, which I always liked aggro decks, so that's where I am. It's a bit unfortunate. Am I actually using the coin on turn 1? I kind of think I'm using the coin on turn 1
Time is running out.
to get a 2/2 on the board. I want to try to seize the initiative and start to develop stuff as early as possible. Whether it's the Mirror or Dragon Druid, I just need to hit the board, like, running. And I can spend mana. Oh, baby, the top deck is insane. We're gonna take the Astalor, also insane. Hearthstone selecting us to win a game for once. The Drum Circle in deck wins those. This might be a Drum Circle deck right here. If it is, I think I can get under him, though. They really need to have natural causes. Yeah, so this is a totally different deck from what I'm playing, and it's not dragons, I don't think. But if I can get the buff down... and then a Death Rattle the following turn... Yeah, and see, they don't have the, they don't have natural causes to be able to remove a minion, so they're not able to actually contest the board. So I'm just gonna buff. And then next turn I've got the zombie plus Soul of the Forest. So I don't think they're gonna have time to really do anything cool this game. That actually is Dragon, that's interesting. But we're just gonna do our thing here.
Arcane bolt.
And I'm going to maintain the widest board that I possibly can, and I'm going to push as much damage face as I possibly can. Yeah, that's should just be it, right? No way they come back from this. It's just over. Don't even have to count damage, baby.
Arcane bolt.
Finish him with the hero power. I got rid of the card draw card, the cacti, and the 2-cost choose 1 card to add the drum circles. Forge choose 1, draw a card, and the epic 4-cost unit that combines your next choose 1. Oh, that's what you cut from the deck. I gotcha. Still felt fast enough with a more consistent mid and late game. Yeah, with this particular version, there's times where it feels like you just don't win. Because your opponent is just hitting all the right removal at the right time.
Versus the Lich King.
This could be a perfect example if it's Plague Death Knight. If they hit both Tomb Traders,
The forest
can
fights
potentially
back.
be really problematic. And the 2 times that I've actually played against Plague Death Knight, they've hit both Tomb Traders. And like their first 8 to 10 cards. So are you guys playing any other games, or is it all just like strictly Hearthstone? Yeah, this looks like the Tang. I'm gonna get the Lingering Zombie in play. I've always been, I think, most of the time, when I've been playing a game, I've just been laser focused on playing one game and one game only. But here recently, it's been more diverse for me. Had this matchup earlier, got to turn 7 on 10 health, and did the funny drum circle play. Nice. I felt like the drum circle version always was kind of like, felt like it was on the edge of the razor, as far as your opponent basically had lethal next turn, but then you do the drum circle thing and get a big wall of taunts and just win from it. It's like a lot of times decks felt like they were 1 turn slow against it. Play League of Legends 2 and BG3. What is that? Is that the new COD game? Lots of League. I never really got into League of Legends. Oh yay, they created a, at least they take damage from it. Let's see. We're just going wide, right? Like they haven't put a plague in the deck. So we are going wide. Really have beasts. I guess this has the most potential upside.
Muzzle their magic.
So I played League. I don't think I ever got to like level 30 and got a rank though. I did enjoy League of Legends, and I love watching like League of Legends tournaments, man. Like those guys are so skilled, it's insane. That guy Faker that just won like his 4th world title is absolutely insane. And he had like a look at this, man. He had a like an insane play to win like the last game of the finals too, man. All right, well something just happened here.
Muzzle their magic.
We might still be okay with the card draw coming off of this. Oh, Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, I haven't played that, but I've heard it's like really, really good. It's it either won Game of the Year or it's going to be in Game of the Year contention or something like that, right? I play ranked a lot now. So, well, the other thing that I didn't really enjoy about League of Legends was the, like, last hitting. I don't really enjoy the last hit mechanic. It's pretty good for them. They're still taking damage, though. I'm just going to draw cards and pass. I didn't enjoy last hitting, and it feels like one of those things that if you played that game a lot, you really open yourself up to, like, a repetitive stress injury. Have you ever played the,
Shout it from the mountaintop!
what's that other thing called? Team Fight Tactics. That's like a more skillful version of Hearthstone's Battlegrounds, I think. I really don't have any choices as far as, like, what I can do. I'm just gonna keep jamming face here. We are gonna get to draw a lot of cards. Well, the thing is, I need everything to die, and then I have to trade with this to be able to draw for only one, so that's not great. Maybe we can just win off of this somehow, though. Now, you get used to it, variety stream win. Oh my gosh. I needed this in the middle somewhere. Yeah, this is really bad. It's basically like a Reno. But I actually, yesterday when I was streaming, I played Hearthstone, and then I switched up to a game called Death Must Die, so I guess Hearthstone is still kind of my main thing, but just like within the last 2 weeks, I've streamed Hearthstone, World of Warcraft, the Season of Discovery. It's so awkward, man. Gosh, that's so awkward. This is my best possible thing. I'm just gonna face tank that. Go face. And then that game Death Must Die, which is it's a new game, but it's in early access. It's also like, what do you call it? Pixel graphics. I don't know, it's probably not for everybody. You just do Arena or ARAMs. Yeah, I played ARAM a little bit, but it got kind of, that concept got kind of boring. Oh yay, they have the second copy. They clear my board with the second copy. That's great. At least we get to draw a lot of cards here. So it's still, the game's not over, but man, that feels bad. And we're gonna draw even more cards. Gotta shut that down. I think we need to shut this down as well. Then we're gonna get down the Soilizer and the Lingering Zombie. TFT is how I got into Battlegrounds, which is how I got into Hearthstone again. Nice. What lead position did you play? I think most I played was mid. I take that back. I did play a lot of mid, but I also played a lot of top. That's insane. I can't remove this either. I think this card wins them the game at this point. Like, I just never beat it. Right? I mean, I can land this buff to be able to make the trades and hero power one of them. But it's not looking good. Ooh, there's a cultivation. use 4. So I guess I... Boom, boom, boom. And this? I don't think this even draws anything anymore. Oh my gosh, I did it in the wrong order.
A wild miscalculation.
And that was a massive blunder with the ordering there. I should have been paying more attention to what I was doing. You seem more like a top laner, but if you hate last hitting, you should try jungle. That's my main role. Just hit diamond for the first time. Nice. Yeah, diamond is like probably way beyond what I would be able to achieve in League of Legends. So I think by the time you get up to diamond, you're basically, you know, getting really good at the game. Yeah, I never got into the jungle too much. Needed. And imagine if these had the death rattle. This doesn't draw. Almost out of cards. We're losing to Breaking Bad over here.
I have but little time.
And it's pretty likely that we draw plagues as well. Hearthstone is pretty interesting. Probably have to kill this. And then I guess I just want to get the Astalor piece in my hand. But the problem is, like, even the final version of Astalor isn't going to really do a whole lot. Because they have so much health on the board to be able to soak up the damage. Plus, I mean, I can't even do it next turn anyway. The jungle is great. You get blamed for people solo extending and dying. Yeah, man, like the League community, it might actually be the most toxic community in gaming. From what I've seen.
Frost, mark.
Despite you being on the other side of the map doing an objective. Yeah. Oof, man. League of Legends. They've tried a lot to clean up their community too. Like, I remember you used to be able to get like in-game currency for almost being like a judge on reported players, right? Like, that's, I don't even know, that's probably not even still a thing, but that's how long it's been since I actually tried playing that game. But to me, like, that's a game, it's kind of sneaky for how long it's been around. Like, I think about it, and League of Legends has been out for a really, really long time. And I just never think about it as being a really old game, but it is.
I have but little time.
Alright, well, our opponent wrote the play that guaranteed wins them the game, so that was fun. I'm 22 and only started 2 years ago. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was playing League of Legends in like 2012, and I don't even think it was a new game at the time. It's definitely been around a while.
Lunara versus Sai!
What's another Death Knight?
The ice storm gathers.
Beware the turning tides.
Right, I'm going to keep a Blood Treant just because we are going second, and that puts an extra card in hand, so I don't mind keeping it in a situation like this.
I see you've brought guests.
We're also playing a Renathal Griefer. Came out in 2012, I think. You still have your account, might have rare stuff. No, I don't have anything rare. First of all, I'm not even sure that I still have the account. But I'm also not sure that I ever spent any money on that game either. Probably have to shut down the card draw. I don't think I like the skeleton here. So they can actually just hero power and trade for this, which is unfortunate, but it's not super bad. I think I'm going to actually aquatic form next turn to try to hit a soilizer. Actually, maybe now it's the buff. Natural causes? Ooh, Soul of the Forest. Okay. So that changes my plan. I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna go ahead and coin this guy out. Next turn, I likely just want to land Soul of the Forest. I was considering holding this to be able to play the coin next turn and play both of these at the same time. I think I'd rather get the 2 damage in. Rare stuff is the pack skins, the pre-order skin, and the silver kale skin from Good Behavior. Yeah, I didn't get any of that, I'm sure. Like I say, I never played a super whole lot of it anyway. Now, one of the things that I enjoyed that they took out was the, what was it called? The other map, Twisted Tree Line, the 3-on-3 map. Top deck 1-drop would be really nice to combo with the Soul of the Forest here. Unfortunately, we're not that good at the game. All damage goes face. So, there's a pretty high likelihood, I think, that they have it, which would be Blood Boil. Blood Boil is really good for him here. It heals him back to 30 or 32. And they can even, like, trade first to be able to get rid of a couple of minions. I'm pretty sure they need 2 removals, though. They need, like, a Blood Boil now. Yeah, the Corpse Explosion is okay here, but it's not as good as Blood Boil. Oh, I didn't realize they had that many corpses. Okay, so that's better than I thought.
The strong flourish. It's only natural.
Probably should have played the Cultivation. I think I made my turn a little bit too fast. So I'm going to hold on to it. Hopefully they don't have more removal. Congrats, you're one of 2 people who ever tried that game mode. There was more than 2 people playing Twisted Tree Line, because I had opponents. And I don't think they had the technology to have bots playing League of Legends back then. Unfortunate. Man, this feels like the kind of game that our opponent's going to have just enough to be able to hold on where we can't kill him. I was joking, don't worry. I mean, I'm not going to lie, man, I wasn't worried, but... yeah. They have just enough to be able to hang on to win this game. Goodness.
Obey the sea.
Now they drop the Soul Stealer and we just concede. Honestly, I think I probably enjoyed Twisted Tree Line more than the ARAM mode.
The runes decide your fate.
That's also enough. I mean, they even picked the wrong one. Like, that's a misplay. And I still just lose. That's how far ahead they are.
I can't win them all.
And don't worry is a British thing? Don't worry. I got you, brov. Alright, I'll be back in just a moment.
Lunara versus Valera.
Watch your back. Beware the turning tides.
I made it just in time. So Tyler, I don't know if you've ever heard me say this, but I am an American that has never been to England. So pretty much my knowledge of English culture is limited to what all my knowledge is coming from, like movies and I guess whatever I see on the news.
I smell gold in them there.
I'm going in. It's actually a pretty good pickup to be able to draw cards. Probably this on turn 3. Man, they always have it. They always have this. And like next turn, they're going to have the coin. I'm thinking they're going to trade for the gold panner. They are. But they're going to like coin out the thing, right? Or they're not. I thought they were going to coin out the 4-drop. So at least I don't have to worry about that. They're going to be able to clean up a lot of the board, though. They're having to use their face, which is going to hurt their health total, though, so that's good, at least. We say, don't worry, and mate, and cheers a lot. Now, what about football? Like, is football as big as I assume it is? Man, this is awkward. Where did this thing come from? Created by, of course. Guess a copy of a spell has the most upside. I'm just gonna keep, like, punching face. I feel like face damage is better than trying to value trade here. We're gonna be able to draw cards. Yes, what an American would call soccer.
Shiny. My shiny.
It is that big. So one of the things, I've watched some of it, but my wife has been really interested in Wrexham football because of the TV show. I don't know if that's something you're familiar with, but there's like a documentary. Honestly, I don't even know if the documentary is on in England. I think it's on one of the major streaming services, though. My wife is yelling at me from back there that it's on Hulu. But it's a documentary because 2 American actors bought the Wrexham Football Club. I need a powerful play here. Lost him in 2 turns.
The snake in your veins.
Owned by Ryan Reynolds, yeah. Has great taste. What about the other guy, man? I didn't even know Rob McElhenney, something like that. I didn't even know what that guy's name was until I saw this documentary. I mean, I've seen the characters that he's played on, I think it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia that he's on. But I didn't actually know what his name was. And at least in the documentary, it felt like they made Rob McElhenney look like more of the driving force. That's a good thing to get a copy of. I just don't have a board.
We all exist in
And our opponent, it feels like our opponent is struggling as well. So next turn, this is going to be infused. I can get this out. And I can get down a Soul of the Forest. Oh wow, they actually clear the board. Again with a Created By card. Thing is, I mean, that's good, but it doesn't feel like our opponent's winning the game. Maybe if they have tests and they replay all this stuff, it's going to be insane. But not necessarily. Alright, that's pretty good. 5. I can't do everything I want to do, though. I do think this is important. That's going to make the cultivation free. I actually have double cultivation. Not sure that I want it, though. Yeah, I do want it. I think I'm just going in here. We're going to force our opponent to have something. He's irrelevant compared to Ryan. Fame-wise, I think I would agree. When I watched the documentary, like, I thought it made it look like it was Rob's idea and he brought Ryan in and that he was more of the one, like, doing the negotiating, like, hiring the coach and whatnot. But anyway, I say all that to say my wife really, really loves the show, and she actually bought... Paul Mullen has a book, and it's like a paperback book that's like this thick. Like, its book is probably not the right word for this thing. But anyway, she loves Paul Mullen and is interested in his story, so she bought that.
All's well that sun wells.
Alright, we just won the game. I don't want to get confused here. Okay. Yeah, so this is a game where, like, their Created By stuff was okay, but it just wasn't good enough for them to actually be able to power through and get the win. Yeah, that is a nice voice line. I think my favorite voice line in all of Hearthstone is the Tiny Knight of Evil, a Warlock class card. I'm gonna keep it. And I can't really do the voice line justice, so I won't try. Best Renathal impression? I don't even think I have a good one. Renathal has a very, like, hoity-toity kind of voice, in my opinion. I'm not sure that I can actually do it. So that's got to be the Bellowing Flames. That means they're going to be clearing the board. These aren't even active yet. I'm gonna go ahead and play this. This isn't even that good. Maybe like the Excavate has the most upside. But the 2-mana 1/1 isn't really great here. They've got the Bellowing Flame, I assume. And they're going to be able to clear the board anytime they want to. Well, I hope I get something useful like that. So the buff is active. I mean, they don't even have to play the Bellowing Flame. They just create something that allows them to clear the board. Not even sure this is the best play, but let's see what we create here. Restore 3 health and draw a card. Warrior has tons of clear. Yeah, they already have a lot of clear, and then they just create additional clear. Like, I mean, realistically, this card should be so bad that nobody would ever, ever, ever play it. Hopefully they're not running a hard copy of Brawl. If they are, hopefully it's not in their hands. But it's one of those things, I can't just let the game go on. I've got to kind of shove in and try to make a play here. Also with another buff in hand. Well, really 2 buffs, but this won't be playable for a while. Azurite Ox is nuts. Yeah, I guess it can be. Alright, there's the Bellowing Flame. Are you kidding me right now? All these targets, and it snipes a 3 health minion. Like, you actually just can't make this stuff up. It's insane. End of the day, it may not even matter, but, like, why does that stuff happen? Specifically, why does it happen to me? That's winning... It's a 1 out of 4, and they hit it 3 times in a row. So it's 1 out of 4 to the 3rd is the chance that that actually happens. Turn 7, he'll have the card for the guaranteed Brawl win. Yeah. I mean, really, like, I can't even watch out. They're going to clear a lot of my stuff, and I think it means I'm not going to have lethal. But if I just hold cards in hand, I'm never going to win anyway, so I just have to continue to play my stuff out and hope that they don't have an answer. It's the only way you're ever going to win this matchup. 1/4 to the 3rd. So that would be 1 out of 64. So what happened with that Bellowing Flame was a 1 out of 64 outcome. They can hit here, here. That leaves me with only 2 minions left. Wow, man, I'm 2 mana off lethal with this top deck. So I need to force them to play the Brawl so that I can kill them with 3 damage next turn. So the way I do that...
What if...
Let's see, I play this. That goes to 4. So I can't even play this. I'm going to start with this guy. Add a temporary copy to your hand. I guess the Lingering Zombie.
We've created a temporal anomaly.
Or, no, I can't do that. I have to play this and shove that damage face. Which potentially they still just gain armor here. Like, this may not be threatening enough that they have to... that they have to do that. If you drew the excavate. Add copy of excavate, the 3-drop can be huge. What are they doing? I have exactly 3 as long as they don't gain armor. They still have to remove both minions. So they need...
Do you have this?
What is this absolute garbage, man? Feels like we just never win from this point. Alright, well, it's not looking too good this game. Man, that Bellowing Flame snipe is so huge. If I just had one more minion on the board when I cultivated, it would have made all the difference in the world. 6 is also a good number for him, because even if I top deck, like Living Roots, or the 2 damage thing, Natural Causes, I still only have 5 from hand, so I need a minion to survive on the board. So basically they're 1 board clear away from sealing the game. Yeah, that just wins them the game. The second copy of Trial by Fire. Right, well, this is infused. So potentially I can draw... But the armor up puts him out of reach, though. So it's just a loss. That is insane, man. And people rope turns like this. Like, turns that obviously seal the game, and they rope them. I always feel like they do it on purpose as a way to grief. And then they emote. You win a 1 out of 64? Both copies of Trial by Fire. And then they emote that they're gonna crush me. I didn't get crushed by the player, I got crushed by the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Lunara versus Malfurion.
I must protect the wild.
Ishnu Allah, Archdruid.
Alright, we're against Druid, so we need a start. This isn't really a start. Again, Cultivation in the opening hand, Life from Death in the opening hand. This isn't really the cards that you want to see. Like, we need stuff to do. And our deck just isn't cooperating here. It looks like we're playing against Dragon Druid, but they can actually just clear the board. Like, again, I have to do things that I don't want to do because I don't really have a choice. So at least they can't clear the board, but they can trade Hero Power Trade. And then my buff only lands on 2. And I just have, like, nothing to do.
The strong flourish. It's only natural.
And again, unless they have a better play, they can still just, like, trade into this guy. And then I might actually be in a position where I have to play this uninfused. Now, that's actually even better, so they did have a better play. And I'm having to play uninfused, so at least I'm going to do the smart thing here. This feels like a game that my decisions don't actually matter, but I want to make sure I play the one... Like, this one's already got 1 death, so I want to make sure that I play this one. And we're going to let our opponent make the trades here. If I dropped you the deck code, would you try out the version I've been doing? Yeah.
We all exist.
If you want to throw me the deck code, I'll give it a try. Feels like we've kind of stalled out with this particular version of the deck.
We all exist in harmony.
Guess I am going to take a trade here. They're going to have that 7-drop dragon, and we just lose on the spot. This should be guaranteed to be active, though, so we can draw cards and at least get 5/5s in play. Cultivations are still really expensive. Yeah, like the 5/5s are almost not even all that great here.
Together now.
Maybe I save this. Nah, that's silly. Just go ahead and put it on the board. It's all going to come down to whether or not they have that 7-mana dragon.
This desecration of the Titan's land stops.
Well, not only did they have it, they had it for 6 mana, so that ends the game.
I can't win them all.
This Druid deck revolves entirely around having the one good card, so again, it just feels like poor game design. After coming back to Hearthstone, it's easy to see the reasons why I left and that they're actually the same or maybe even worse.
Goth versus Nazoth.
I feel your roots in the deep, awakening the nightmare. I defend the blessings of nature.
And this matchup just comes down to whether or not they draw the removal. And to some extent, whether or not we draw like Soul of the Forest to get the death rattles. You worked it out? What did you work out, Tyler? Yeah, I'm just going to hit the board with the Lingering Zombie. Other option would be play this and set up for the double 2/2s on turn 2. I think this is fine. Actually got to point out the Soilizer here. I was hoping to be able to put pressure on the board. We do have 2 death rattles if they have like the Plague Eruption. Definitely want to be aware turn 4 is going to be the Hellfire turn. Freeze and Spirit Bomb. Mortal Coil their own minion. That's good at least. That they can't take a trade. And I'm just going to spend my turn on this. If they do have an AoE, we're going to be able to get down 5/5s and a couple of 2/2s. If they don't have AoE, then all this stuff is going to get to go face, so this seems like a pretty good turn. Plus, there's the AoE, and we do still have a little bit left on the board. Plus, we're going to get down the 5/5s and the 2/2s. And this is actually close to being infused. It's a nice top deck. So at this point, we go in. Any reason to trade for the 1/1 here? Might potentially protect a 5/5. Because they have a couple of different things in the deck that can deal 4 damage.
This is not what we stood for.
And that's actually just going to be game. So, unfortunately for our opponent, they didn't draw enough removal. Oh, you figured out how to copy the deck code. I got you. Yeah, you can drop it in the chat if you want to, Tyler. I'll give it a shot. You don't need to play it, but tell me your thoughts. It's in chat. I actually don't see a deck code in chat. That's crazy, man. Like, if you see it in chat, I don't.
Lunara versus Arthas.
You will know endless torment.
A new song begins.
Yeah, I don't have that message. I don't know if it was like maybe blocked as spam or something by YouTube, but I don't have like the deck code message. That's so weird because I feel like people have shared deck codes in the chat before and it's been fine. Versus Death Knight. Most likely Plague Death Knight, so this is going to be another matchup where we're worried about the Tomb Trader. How else can I send it? You can send it on Twitter. I guess try it again in YouTube chat. Let's see if it comes through this time. Alright, it is Plague. So Tomb Trader is the biggest concern. And our opponent has the coin as well. So that's a really nice pickup. They kind of need to coin out the Tomb Trader this turn if they have it. If not, I'm going to be able to get down buffs. Oh well, they don't even need it. So when I left Hearthstone, they were no longer playing hardcore cultist in this particular deck. I guess it came back specifically because of Treant Druid. Do this first. That up for next turn. Well, I guess I just want to go ahead and get down the 5/5s here. And I'm actually just going to hold on to this. Could summon the 1/1s, but I'm going to save them for a turn when I'll be able to get all this out at the same time. And they actually shuffled my deck, which is a bit unfun. We're not waiting anymore, we're just throwing in. So if they have the Tomb Trader, we're still going to have a 6/3 on the board. No, that's crazy, man. There's got to be something...
Can you feel the gift?
There's got to be some kind of like YouTube thing that's not allowing me to see it, because I still don't see a deck code. I see everything else, though.
Our gift of the arcane enlightens us.
that's not good. Fuse 3.
Flower power.
Just going in. Hopefully there's no hollow hound here. Let's see.
Candle much lighter.
I don't have anything telling me that there's like a held chat message either. It's really weird. I have no idea. Oh gosh. Gonna get ruined by being high rolled again.
The citadel stands strong.
Alright, well it looks like we're gonna actually win this, so that's nice.
It is time to end this.
If that's not the case, what's your Twitter? My Twitter you should actually be able to see on your screen. It's uncorruptgg. On over and see if I can catch it. And I guess if you would, Tyler, just holler at me in the chat when you've sent it. It's so strange. I can't believe that it's not going through. Oh wait, here we go. Alright, yeah, I got it now, Tyler. So apparently I had a setting on the chat that if YouTube thought it was a spam message, it wouldn't show it to me. Well... Man, this technology's so hard. There we go. The old man finally coming through. Alright. So drum circle. Nature. Alright, yeah, we'll give it a try. See how it goes. So we got the Tyler Druid coming in hot. You said 17 wins in a row?
Lunara versus Malfurion.
Up against a
I
druid.
must protect the wild.
Ishnu Allah, Archdruid.
No, I'm sure it's fine. Alright, so we're going to keep the early game and then draw into the big drum circle stuff. That's going to be the plan. It's actually a Renathal Druid. I don't think I've faced a Renathal Druid. We'll set up for the double 2/2s on turn 2. Playing the spell also is going to have this active for turn 3, which might be relevant in some way. So, a Renathal Dragon Druid. That's interesting. Really good top deck for us here, so... Our opponent may not be able to clear anything, in which case we actually just buff 3 minions, which seems pretty strong for turn 3. And I think I would rather go ahead and give them the attack and the health now, and then Soul of the Forest later. We're just going to go ahead and get this in play as well. And coin it out. Everything face. And then next turn we're going to land a Soul of the Forest, but it's still kind of... As of right now, it feels like it's going to come down to whether or not they have the good card.
Stay alert, my children. Danger.
But it's less likely they have the good card, because they're playing a 40-card deck, right? Oh, we can actually just buff again? Rather than Soul of the Forest? So I kind of like that. And we're still just going face here. So, do they have it? And even if they do, we have the... We have Cultivation. They're not a bad turn at all for them. But we have a good turn here as ourselves, because we can play this and still cultivate. And go face. And win the game! Tyler Druid, 1-0 on the stream so far. This deck is banging. PG, my deck is goated. Yeah, man. Your 17-0 plus my 1-0 is 18-0.
I must protect the wild.
Hard to type on iPad? Nah, that's not a problem, man. I know what you're saying. Not a problem. I mean, to be honest, I just thought you had a few too many pints anyway. Did I get the British jargon correct on that? A few too many pints? I am British, but no, it's not a work night. Oh no, it is a work night. Yeah, I see what you're saying. You gotta go to work tomorrow, so no pints tonight. I got you, man. Good play for the opponent there, but we have our own good play. I'm actually going to trade for the 3/3. They can still hero power and swing into this. They don't even want to do that. Am I trading for the 1/1? I think the 3 damage face is more relevant than trading for a 1/1. Probably looking to dredge for an additional buff.
Our gift of the arcane enlightens.
It's a really good astrolabe to be able to get the clear there. So we're going to start with the dredge. And... I feel like the natural causes just makes the most sense here. 8. Actually, does the natural causes go face here? I guess not, because we'd rather have the minion, because they can potentially just trade anyway. So unless they have it for 6 mana, we might actually just be getting under them this game. It's not a wall of dragons. Please, Hearthstone.
Stay alert, my children. Danger waits.
It's the one dragon wall. They do still have 6 mana though. Trade, I like it. Planted evidence, I might like it, depending on what they get. Come on, Hearthstone, we earned this one. We have drum circle potential to still win. I don't have lethal, so I guess I just need to draw cards here. Even without the finale.
Exist in harmony.
So I summon a Treant by trading one of these guys and then buff and win. Oh. I thought this had the Soul of the Forest on it. I guess I should have checked first. But in the end, it ultimately just doesn't matter, right? Well, it maybe did kind of matter if their health total wasn't exactly 9, but we get there. Alright. The Tyler deck is 2-0. I like it. So we're going again. So far, though, I mean, it's only 2 games, but I haven't really been able to do the drum circle thing yet. It's just been almost like basically playing the other Treant version. I want to do the big drum circle thing.
Goth versus Uther.
Ooh, it might that might really help against the Paladin matchup.
The blessings of nature.
We'll see how it goes. Tyler deck about to go 20-0. I guess I'm just going to get on the board to be able to fight in the early game. Because this feels like the matchup where we're going to need to do some type of drum circle stuff.
Need a bit more spice over here.
Just gonna play it safe in the early game. I don't really have a play for next turn,
Reporting for duty.
which is a little bit of an issue. It's interesting that they hero power here. Like, they could trade and play 2/1/1s. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm just gonna take the trade. We're just gonna totally fight for the board in the early game, and then depend on a big drum circle. Probably just play this next turn.
Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty.
Alright, it's kind of weak.
Ladies blossom.
I'm just gonna keep playing totally for the board here. Next turn I can go this, play a 2/2, and buff. But by keeping the board clear, we're playing around that, what is it, Keeper of Strength? Let's see what's on the bottom. Oh, it's definitely a Flower Child.
We all exist in harmony.
Alright, 1 Cultivation, 1 Drum Circle. So the Drum Circle we actually play next turn. Give your minions 2/4. I mean, I can clear this. I think I just go ahead and clear it. I mean, it's still a full board next turn. I play this and Cultivate next turn. Trade for whatever they have on the board, and then we just win, right?
The light dims.
So I actually can't remove their entire board, though, is the problem. Their entire board. No matter what I do. So I almost feel like I save these. Because if they have... This would deal 8 damage. Which is exactly enough to be able to clear the board. So I'm just going to do something else. And try to force them to do whatever it is they're going to do. We're going to find out if they have a clear. This is basically what I'm saying. And then if they have 1 clear, hopefully they don't have 2 clears. Get hold to Eclipse it and then double cast it on turn 8. I'm not sure I can wait that long. I mean, I can't just pass a turn. It almost feels like I just need to do it now. I play this, I lose the double on this. I think I just have to play it and hope that they don't have another clear. It all comes down to whether or not they have the Keeper of Strength. If they do, it goes on this and it's just game over. 10, 12, 13. What if I did wait 1 turn? I mean, they're not killing us. But if they have... It's not going to matter. If they have the Titan, I think we also lose. If they have the Titan, we lose whether they buff or whatever they do. So I guess we wait 1 turn. That means we're doing like a bunch of nothing this turn. So pretty much we need them to not have the Titan, and then we also need them to not have... to not be able to randomly create like Gigafin or something. And not kill us. Okay, here we go. We get to do the big drum circle thing. This is going to be awesome. Alright, so they still have to not have the Titan. Oof, as I'm out of water. I mean, that lets him clear a decent amount of stuff here, though, right? Potentially still have lethal, though.
I must move quickly.
$24. Wait, it would be 7 mana, so I can't afford to actually forge this and play it. And I need to hit the right one. I hit it. It doesn't really win the game, like, on this exact turn. Natural Causes here. That lets me put 24 face. If I do this, I have to double bump. I probably need to remove their board as well.
That rope's burning again.
Alright, I kind of roped out and ran out of time trying to figure out the best thing to do. I think this was it. I needed to clear their board. I think this was correct. Forge and draw for next turn. Yeah, I think you're probably right, Tyler, because I could have skipped the hero power. That didn't really do anything. But when I started the turn, I didn't... When I started the turn, I was pretty confident that I had lethal in some form. Alright, give me something random that wins the game. This is all bad. Yeah, I think I threw. I needed to forge and draw. But there was no guarantee that it was going to hit Drum Circle because I still had another Lifebinder thing in the deck as well. None of this is undead to be able to combine with this.
Think of
I guess the spell damage has the most upside.
Beauty is more than scale deep.
Yeah, I think I've just totally blown at this game. Unfortunate. Should probably just shame concede my way right out of the game. Because as soon as they draw the Titan, it's over anyway. So we could even just be dead. Yeah, we died. So if I had forged, I would have had a 50-50 to hit the Drum Circle, but that was better than what I did, so I just misplayed. We won't count that as a Tyler deck loss. That's an uncorrupt loss. The deck remains undefeated. But that is actually going to do it for the stream tonight. I'm starting to get tired playing bad, so we're going to go ahead and call it a night. Thank you so much for hanging out. I definitely enjoyed that. And I'm going to throw Tyler's deck code back into the chat again, if I can figure out how to do it. So the deck that I played the last couple of games was actually from Tyler in the chat here. So if anybody's interested in that, you can feel free to check out Tyler's deck for yourself. And I plan on being back tomorrow. Hopefully nothing too crazy happens at work. I should be live again tomorrow. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'm Uncorrupt, and I hope to be able to see you next time.